There's nothing worse than bland enchiladas. Well, except for spoiled beef sticks, of course. It turns out that not every Costco product is created equally. These are the stinkers that it's probably best to avoid, according to Costco customers. One of the most popular aspects of shopping at Costco is definitely the store's food court. Whether you want to fuel up before or after you hit the aisles, customers love being able to have a delicious meal while getting their grocery shopping done. And while the Costco food court doesn't offer a ton in terms of variety, their pizza is pretty iconic. However, in January of 2023, customers started to notice that the pizza wasn't as good as it used to be. Taking to Reddit, customers listed many complaints after having their most recent slice of pizza. The original poster noted, "Usually the edge crust is much softer and bubblier. This one felt like it had no rise at all. The crust texture was totally different. Very soft, wiggly, and the pizza tasted wetter, if that makes any sense. Overall, very soggy." Soon, others started chiming in with their own complaints, with someone saying, "Costco pizza is overrated. It's always been floppy, too thin in the center, greasy, cheap cheese." Another added, "Yes, it definitely has changed for the worse." So if you think you're looking forward to a slice of pizza at Costco, you might want to prepare for potential disappointment.
Aka?
Aka.
Asai?
Asha?
Ahut.
Perhaps one reason people love Costco so much is that they are always changing up their inventory and selling new products at great prices. But as fun as it might be to try new things, it can also be hard to know whether something is worth it. So when one Costco member took to Reddit to ask whether a new drink they found at their store was worth it, other customers were more than happy to give their input. And let's just say it wasn't a 5-star rating. The Sambazon dragon fruit juice got some mixed reviews, but most could agree it wasn't anything special. One customer said, "Personally, I think the ginger taste is too strong and not enough dragon fruit flavor." Another added, "I thought it was kinda bland also. I think the acai one has more flavor." Another customer explained, "It's a bit too gingery for my liking and has a stevia aftertaste. It's also more like a dragon fruit cocktail as it is a mix of several different juices. So if you're looking for a healthy and great tasting juice option, this might not be your answer." There's really nothing quite like finding a delicious dessert you can enjoy from home, especially if you find one that comes in individual packages or smaller serving sizes. That way, you can enjoy a delicious treat whenever you want without having to open an entire gallon of ice cream, or bake a whole tray of brownies, or fight off the temptation to only eat one slice of cake. And Costco offers quite a few desserts that are perfect for a late-night sweet treat, or even for hosting. But one of those desserts might be a bit of a letdown. The Junior's mini cheesecakes look adorable and delicious, but in a social media post about the Costco item, users were quick to point out that these are not worth buying. One user commented, "Nobody get these. I love cheesecake, and these were a huge letdown. Not good at all." Another added, "Walmart cheesecake has more flavor." And the final nail in the coffin, "Not good. They taste really weird. Plus, they don't have the crust, which is the best part. A cheesecake with no delicious crumbly graham cracker crust? No thanks. Definitely don't waste your money on these next time you're at Costco." One of the perks of shopping at Costco is the deli section in the back of the store, where customers can find freshly prepared meals that you can easily finish cooking at home. Everything from taco kits, meatloaf, pasta bakes, and more to make for a super easy dinner. And while most of these ready-made meals have proven to be quite tasty, there is one that you should probably steer clear of. If you're a fan of comfort food, you might be disappointed because Costco's chicken pot pie is something customers are always complaining about, and there's one pretty specific reason. One Costco customer took to Reddit to explain their disappointment with their latest chicken pot pie purchase, writing, "The family-sized chicken pot pie was so salty, we couldn't eat it." And a lot of other shoppers agreed, with some adding, "My last Costco chicken pot pie was 2 years ago for the very same reason." Another customer chimed in, saying, "We used to get these all the time, but had to stop after getting one that literally just tasted like salt. So unless you're craving pure salt, we'd recommend staying away from these." There are quite a few items that people consider staples at Costco, such as the store's rotisserie chicken, giant packs of toilet paper, diapers, and so much more. But if you were hoping to save money by purchasing your family's milk from Costco, you might want to reconsider. While the milk might be a good buy and make sense economically, there's a recurrent issue with the design of the milk jugs that customers have an issue with. Specifically, Costco redesigned their brand's milk jugs back in 2008 to make them easier to ship and cheaper to produce. But doing so also made them harder to pour from. The more square-shaped design is much more prone to leaking and spilling out while consumers are trying to pour milk into their cups, coffee mug, or bowl of cereal. Fortunately, in January 2023, the store announced they would address the spilling issue, but not all store locations are seeing those improved designs, so just be aware that the milk from Costco might be more trouble than it's worth. There are so many healthy snack options that Costco rotates through, it's no wonder some of them don't always work out. And while most of the chip bags, granola bars, and nuts and seeds seem to be safe and snack-worthy, one item at Costco has had some pretty disgusting feedback from customers. The Chomps beef sticks, which are marketed as a healthy beef jerky option, have been known to appear green and spoiled, causing some to wonder if they are moldy in the package. According to one Reddit thread, several customers have had the same issue with their Chomps beef sticks purchased at Costco. Along with a photo of two normal-looking beef sticks beside one that was obviously green, one user shared, "I found a special green beef stick in my Chomps beef stick pack." And other customers shared they have also had this experience, with someone saying, "I've had this in 2 previous Chomps packages." Another added, "I stopped buying Chomps for this reason. It seemed like I was always finding 1 or 2 that were off/moldy."
And I'm ready to party!
One of the smartest ways you can use your Costco membership is to buy food for a party. For a lot of people, the food at Costco comes in packages too large to eat before they go bad. But if you're throwing a party, Costco is the place to go. Their selection of party and appetizer foods is impressive, but there's one app-style item that people aren't a fan of. Costco sells packages of Phillips crab cake minis, but it turns out these frozen crab cakes are not crowd pleasers. One Twitter user complained, "The frozen crab cakes from Costco are one of the worst tasting foods I have had in my life. I took 2 bites and had to throw out the whole box." A Reddit user wrote on a thread about the frozen crab cakes, "They are mushy and don't have much, if any, lump meat." Clearly, these crab cakes aren't authentic or all that tasty and should not be invited to your next party. Costco tends to offer a pretty decent selection of healthier items throughout the store. There are tons of organic produce, lighter snack options, protein drinks and bars, and even frozen meals that are macro-friendly, such as the Real Good Foods chicken enchiladas. But if you were hoping that these enchiladas would make meal prep easier for you, think again, because they are one of the most unpopular items at Costco by far. One Reddit user declared, "We have a new winner in the worst thing I've ever purchased at Costco category." And plenty of other Costco customers agreed wholeheartedly, with one saying, "These were disgusting. I tried cooking them many ways. All gross." Another joked, "It's really not that bad if you like the taste of cardboard." Yet another chimed in, saying, "Both the flavor and texture are terrible." And the complaints just kept rolling in, with hundreds of commenters all mostly agreeing with the sentiment that these are not real good at all. As appealing as the low-carb meal might look, clearly it's not worth it. Another item at the Costco food court that isn't always what it's cracked up to be is the French fries. While not all Costco locations offer French fries, that might be for a good reason. After all, they seem to garner a good amount of complaints, with customers claiming that they're not very good, and inconsistent in texture too. Specifically, Reddit users explained that the French fries at their Costco food court were one item they would consider to be the worst you can get at the food court. One customer said, "Sometimes the workers pre-package the French fries, put in the bowl, covered in foil to keep it warm, but this makes the fries soggy and not as good." Another simply added, "The fries are meh." And on Twitter, another shopper also seemed to notice that the fries had gone down in quality recently, writing "Downfall of Costco French fries" alongside a photo of some pretty sad-looking fries. When it starts to get warm outside and it stays lighter outside longer, you can't help but be excited for summer and all that it represents. And Costco is definitely the place to stock up when it comes to summer items. Swimsuits, towels, sunscreen, even pools, lounge chairs, and patio furniture are all things you can easily buy in the store once the weather warms up. But when it comes to seasonal food items, there's one summer treat at Costco that customers have been seriously disappointed by. The Kirkland signature ready-to-freeze vodka cocktails sound fun and delicious, but apparently they are anything but. Specifically, some Reddit users cited the purchase as their worst food buy from Costco, which is definitely saying a lot. One customer said, "The vodka icicles, I had such high hopes." A fellow disgruntled buyer suggested that another brand's take on the product was far superior. They wrote, "The original ones are so delicious, but the Kirkland ones were ugh." Yet another user complained, "Most of the vodka ones are blech." When you're looking for some fun cocktails for the summer, you might want to avoid these or wind up disappointed.
Would you like to supersize those falafel balls?
One of the most popular Middle Eastern dishes is also one of the most delicious you can find. Falafel is warm, savory, moist, with just the right amount of crunch on the outside and bursting with flavor on the inside. And Costco actually sells some refrigerated falafel, so you can enjoy this dish whenever you want, without having to break out the food processor and peel the skin off a ton of chickpeas. But are they good? That's questionable. In fact, some people have complained so much about the Hannah Foods organic falafel from Costco that they claim it's the worst food item they've ever purchased from the store. One customer complained on Reddit, saying, "They were mealy and bland. You have to eat them all within 5 days of opening them. I threw a lot of them out." Another customer lamented, "I tried putting them in the air fryer to at least get them a little crispy. Tried the oven and tried pan frying them too, but they were just mealy and dense and bad." Clearly, it seems as though there was no right way to cook them, and no matter what, they turned out bad. No matter how much you're craving falafel, just know the brand carried at Costco probably isn't going to cut it.